and those who have not yet filed their 21 tax returns have until September 15 to do so. There will be many more Americans getting a major check worth more than $3,000. It's been a few months since Alaska has been sending out the cash from its permanent fund dividend that had paid out to a lot of people in the state. Now, back in 2022, these checks were pretty much worth $4,000, and the exact date of when you get the money is sent is just deposited and depends on when applications are approved. Because Alaska's permanent fund dividend is continuing to accept applications to March 31st, and residents have until February 28th to file an application for property tax rebates as part of our state's Anchor benefit program. An estimated 2 million households in the Garden State are eligible for Anchor, which stands for Affordable New Jersey Community Homeowners. Now, homeowners who earn up to $150,000 will receive $1,500 in property tax, and they're also going to get a lot more money in stimulus payments. And also, another state like Connecticut, one of those northern states, you will begin issuing the payments from its premium pay program, or we call it Triple P. In the next 5 to 6 weeks, people will get stimulus $1,000 between March 1st and $1,000 between March 11th. Applicants who applied by October will receive anywhere from, $200 to $1,000, with the full-time essential workers getting a lot of money. Because what we know for sure is that applicants will get that cash. And even in the state of Maine, Revenue Service has sent $5,000 checks worth around $450. And that was by January 31st. So that was about 2 weeks ago, and now people can get even more money. Because now the Director of Communications for the state of Maine has said there are no delays, and they're anticipating people to get stimulus very fast, very quick, and very efficiently. That's a good thing to know. Even in Michigan, the Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Democratic legislators recently announced a proposed plan that would send $180 inflation relief checks to people who need it. Folks, let's go over the most important stimulus check information first. I'm not going to waste any more of your time, so here it is.
Well, I think that what will likely happen tomorrow, Anderson, I can't be sure, is that the bipartisan infrastructure bill will not succeed. And that's what I think is the right thing, and I support the progressives in the House for doing that. And the reason for that is that what the president campaigned on, what the president wants, what the American people want, what 95% of the members of the Democratic caucus in the House and the Senate want, are two major pieces of legislation. And that is to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, very important.
Lawmakers have only 2 weeks now to lift or raise or suspend the debt limit and prevent an economic disaster. But Senate Republicans are refusing to help Democrats get it done. Today, President Biden called them hypocritical, dangerous, and disgraceful.
Republicans in Congress raised the debt 3 times when Donald Trump was president, and each time with Democrat support. But now they won't raise it. Meteor is headed to crash into our economy. In the days ahead, even before the default date, people may see the value of their retirement accounts shrink. They may see interest rates go up, which will ultimately raise their mortgage payments and car payments. And the American people, look, I just say it this way. As soon as this week, your savings in your pocketbook could be directly impacted by this Republican stunt. It's as simple as that. Republicans say they will not do their part to avoid this needless calamity. So be it. But they need to stop playing Russian roulette with the U.S. economy. It's one thing to pay our debts already acquired. It's another to require a supermajority to pay the debts already acquired. It's not right. Let the Democrats vote to raise the debt ceiling this week, without obstruction or further delays.
Is being made, the lawmakers in the House and the Senate are taking action to address Social Security shortfall. One plan was recently put forward, and it includes changing how the checks are calculated. This could lead to big checks for some seniors and retirees. Now, debate over Social Security reform has largely been framed as a partisan one, with Democrats more inclined to maintain the status quo and Republicans to push for fiscal changes in the program. But like many things in D.C., the take is not entirely accurate. Over the past months, lawmakers in the state who normally side with Democrats have indicated a willingness to take a look at areas where Social Security can be adjusted, just to put it more on financial footing. And one of the lawmakers is Senator Angus King, an independent from Maine, who caucuses with Democrats, and he is actually supporting Bill Cassidy on a bipartisan take on this. Even Joe Manchin, a West Virginia Democrat, has suggested that he is also open to Social Security changes as long as they don't involve cuts to their program. Manchin told Fox, "I'm not going to discuss Social Security and Medicare for those people that are receiving and have been depending on it. But Social Security has come under increased scrutiny due to worries over how the program will be funded in the future. And according to Go Banking Rates, Social Security's Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund is just expected to run out of money as early as 2032. And when that happens, the program will be solely reliant on payroll taxes for funding, which might only cover about 75% of benefits." Lawmakers have put forth various proposals to address the problem. These typically involve some combo of raising the full retirement age, cutting benefits, or increasing payroll taxes. Senator King and Kennedy put forth two more ideas. One is to create a sovereign wealth fund that would be funded with $500 billion in borrowed money. If the fund fails to generate an 8% return, it will be cut. No more Social Security money for you. Another idea is to change the formula tax, and that's for Social Security benefits, from one based on a worker's average earnings to a formula-based one on the number of years spent working. Any of the ideas will require bipartisan support to make it into law, and the controlled House would actually need to approve the bill and will also take it to the Senate, where Democrats are how they'll cover from this. If you owe the IRS money but don't have it on hand to cover your tax bill, don't panic. They also have a problem, and don't ignore the problem. The good news is that the IRS will commonly let taxpayers and filers pay off their debts over time, via installments and arrangements. It won't stop you from incurring interest, though, on the money you owe to the agency. But if you make your payments in a timely manner under one of those arrangements, the IRS comes after the repaid ones. But Mark Steber, a IRS agent, noted that if you're looking to have a writing from the IRS and a large check, and you've done tax yourself, it could be worth it to hire a professional for another look. They may be able to find different deductions that you didn't know you were eligible for.
Spending on little ones, and we need to be investing a lot more in childcare to grow our economy. But these MAGA House Republicans are threatening to cut the little bit of funding that we do have going into childcare.
To offend America's health, security, and freedom. The rule includes 5 pieces of landmark legislation, which the gentleman, Mr. Morelli, has very clearly explained. I thank him and Mr. McGovern again for their skilled leadership in assembling this rule and steering this crucial legislation to the floor. First this week, we'll have our version of NDAA, which you explained. It supports our nation's servicemen and women. It strengthens our national security and promotes national leadership on the global arena.
Folks, we got 10 news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI. Here's the most important part that you need to know. Now, the Senate Republicans have actually slashed programs like Social Security for a long time. And what this means is that data has been released on Social Security. The lawmakers are pushing for immediate changes to be made, and these changes will negatively